Hey everyone, Shane here with etrailer.com. Today I have a 2018 Chevrolet Traverse, and I'm going to walk you how to install the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver. This is what our hitch is going to look like when it's installed. What's nice about this is it's completely hidden behind our fascia when we're not using it. We can take our panel, put it back in place, and it looks like we don't have a hitch. When we're ready to use it, remove our panel, and our hitch is easily accessible. It's going to be a Class 3 hitch. Steel construction, black powder coat finish. It's really going to help resist any rust or corrosion and stay looking nice for a really long time. Hitch is going to work great for a lot of different hitch mount accessories like bike racks, cargo carriers, and smaller trailers, maybe even a boat. Putting a cargo carrier on it, we can move stuff from inside the vehicle and make more room for our passengers, put them on the cargo carrier. Same thing with the bike rack, load our bikes on the bike rack. We're not going to have to try to load them inside the car or on top of the car. It's going to give us a 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, reinforced collar to give us a little extra stability there. Hitch pin hole is going to be 5/8 inch in diameter. It's going to take a standard 5/8 hitch pin. Hitch pin and clip does not come with this hitch, however, it can be found here at etrailer.com. Safety chain loops are going to be rolled steel. You can see very large openings. So if we have a larger trailer that has some bigger hooks on it, we know we're going to have plenty of room for those hooks. As far as our measurements go, from the ground to the top innermost part of our receiver tube is going to be about 20 inches. Keep that number in mind for any hitch mount accessories that may require a little bit more ground clearance. From the center of our hitch pin hole to the outermost part of our bumper is going to be about 3 inches. That number is important for any of your hitch mount accessories that may fold up against the vehicle. You want to make sure they're not going to make contact. As far as our weight capacities go, we're going to have a 750-pound max tongue weight, which is going to be the downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. So you want to make sure when you're putting a cargo carrier on here, your bike racks, anything like that, you're not exceeding that downward pressure. We're going to have a 5,000-pound gross trailer weight, which is a trailer plus the load included. You can use weight distribution with this hitch. Those numbers are going to stay the same. I always recommend checking the owner's manual of the vehicle. Make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight. You want to go with the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. As far as the installation process, it is a little bit time consuming because the fascia does have to come off. However, it is not that difficult. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's walk through how to get it installed. To start our installation, we need to remove these two caps on both sides of the vehicle. You can use a flathead screwdriver or a pick. We'll just get under one edge there. And pop that out. Take a 7mm socket, we're going to remove the 2 bolts. And we're going to take a T20 torch bit, we're going to remove this here. And we're going to repeat that same process on the other side of the vehicle. And in each wheel well, we're going to take a T15 torch bit, we're going to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts in each liner. What we need to do is we need to pop this loose here. However, when you get up to right there, there's a fastener in there. If you pop that out, if you just pull on the fascia and or the trim panel and just pop it out, you'll end up breaking it. What I suggest doing is taking a trim panel tool and trying to get that to pop loose like that. What we want to do is we need to take this bolt out here. We're going to use a 7mm socket. We'll take a T15 Torx bit. On the bottom edge, we're going to have 4 bolts, 2 on each side. One here on the outside of our exhaust, and this one here. We're going to have that same thing on the other side of the vehicle. What I like to do is, if you have an extra set of hands, it's better to have them. If not, take the box that your hitch comes in, slide it underneath of your fascia. What we're going to do is we're going to start on the outside and work our way to the center. We want to make sure when pulling it back, we're not just going to pull it off. You notice we have some sensors here. We're going to need to unplug those, so we don't want to damage any wire or any plugs as we take it off. We're going to start here. We're going to gently start pulling out and work our way to the center. Once you get one side off, we can come back to the other and pull that side off. Right here on our driver's side is going to be our sensor wire. We're going to pull this red tab up, push down on this black tab here, and separate our plug, and we can set our fascia aside so we're safe. We're going to take a 15mm socket. We're going to remove the 2 bolts on the bottom of our bumper beam, 2 nuts on top of our bumper beam on each side of the vehicle. We're going to slide our bumper beam off and set it aside. We'll take our hitch, we'll slide it into the frame rails, line it up with the bolts. We're going to install the factory nuts on the top, on each side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our pull wire. We're going to have 2 bolts, or 2 holes on the bottom of our frame rail. We're going to take the spring in, we're going to feed it up through the hole, and we're going to come out of this hole here at the front. I'm going to start with the one closest to the front of the vehicle. We're going to put on a spacer block. Push your spacer block in. Take your bolt, your carriage bolt, and slide it in. We're going to pull it down like this, where it drops out of the hole. We're going to have another hole here. We're going to repeat that same process, and then repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. Then we can remove our pull wire, put on a conical tooth washer, teeth facing up towards the hitch, and then a nut. We'll repeat that same process for the remaining hardware on the underside of the frame rails. Once you have all of your hardware in on the bottom of the frame rail, on each side, we're going to come back with our 15mm socket. We're going to tighten the 2 nuts on the top side. Then we're going to come back with a 15mm socket. We're going to tighten 2 nuts on the bottom side of each frame rail. Then we're going to come back and we're going to torque our bottom hardware to specifications in the instructions. We're going to come back with a hex bolt, conical tooth washer. We're going to raise our exhaust hanger up. And install those 2 bolts in the lower 2 holes on each side. We'll come back with an 11/16 socket. We'll tighten and then torque the hardware to the specification in the instructions. Once you have all your hardware torqued down, you can reinstall your fascia in reverse order from the way you took it off. It's going to do it for a look at and installation on the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver on a 2018 Chevrolet Traverse.